Absolutely none.
In 2003, with Anselmo AWOL, the Abbott brothers reluctantly abandoned the only band they ever knew.
We were sitting there rotting away. Two of the best musicians on the face of the earth that play that kind of music were sitting there and having to take it in the face. No future, no nothing, just sitting there wondering what the is happening.
You know, this is like these two kids who basically built this family business from the ground up, and then all of a sudden, they can't run that business anymore.
The idle time sent Dimebag Darrell into a spiral of depression.
You know, he'd never been off that long, and that was probably the worst 2 years, I think, of his life.
He'd call me loaded or whatever. I just go, dude, what's going on? He's just like, I'm just bummed out, man. I go, well, Dime, look at it this way, man. Good Lord gave you a gift. He put it in your hands, man. I said, you're the best guitar player in the world. I said, just get out there and just, you know, get Vinny, get some ass-kicking musicians with you.
By late 2003, Dime and Vinny formed Damage Plan, releasing their debut album, Newfound Power, in early 2004.
It was weird for the fans. You know, they wanted Pantera. I mean, you've been serving people Coca-Cola for 200 years, and then all of a sudden you tell them we're changing the flavor, and it's now going to be called Diet Right, you know?
Yet even after the brothers put Pantera behind them, Philip continued to serve up salvos in the press. In the December 2004 issue of Metal Hammer, Anselmo was quoted as wishing violence against the guitarist.
I remember Dom going, dude, this ain't funny anymore. This is not funny. What have I ever done to that guy to deserve this other than stand up on stage and kick ass for him?
The comment about Dimebag deserving a beating and whatever the hell. We had finished that damn interview. It was a tongue-in-cheek thing that I said, and it ended up on the cover of the damn magazine.
I've got the audio tapes of Phil in that interview. He said what he said, word for word, in a very calm tone of voice, and he's got to live with that the rest of his life.
After he read that article, Daryl wrote a letter and said, you know, you're in competition with someone that's no longer in your life, you know? And I think the very last thing that it says in it is, no longer will you trample through my peaceful mind. It was for Philip. You know, he was done. He wrote him off. You know, he'd had enough of it.
Dimebag had made his peace with the perils of Pantera, but his contentment would be short-lived. On December 8th, 2004, Damage Plan was wrapping up a 2-month club tour at the Alrosa Villa in Columbus, Ohio. But the gig would quickly turn tragic. 10 seconds into the set, 25-year-old ex-Marine Nathan Gale stormed the stage, brandishing a 9mm pistol.
I just screamed as loud as I could, and bam, bam, bam.
I just remember screaming, he's shooting something, and Vinny came off the drum riser, and he's coming at me, and he's going, he just shot my brother, he shot my brother.
I went to jump from behind the drums to run out and help. And John, Dom's guitar tech, tackled me and held me on the ground.
As soon as I knew he was pointing the other way, we both ran across the drum riser and got to the other side of the stage.
It kept going on, and he picked me up and shoved me and said, run, man.
911, what's your emergency?
911 emergency.
Alrosa Bar, please, we need help as soon as possible.
Oh, my God.
911.
He came in with a gun and started shooting people.
Oh, they're still shooting.
He's on stage right now. He's got a gun.
The guy's on stage with a gun?
My cell phone rang. It's Vinnie Paul. And he goes, dude, I just saw my brother get shot in the back of the head 5 times. And I go, are you kidding, Vince? I go, what are you talking about?
People were trying to rush the guy, and he shot a couple of people to keep him away. The whole time he was looking for Vince.
After rushing to the aid of the mortally wounded Dimebag Darrell, drum tech Cat Brooks tried to subdue the gunman.
I went after the dude. He said, you.
Cat was fighting with him, and he kept telling Cat to settle down, and he wouldn't.
And kept shooting me. And just kept telling me, stay down, stay down. I'm looking out in the audience, I'm like, dude, Somebody help me out here.
I thought he's killing my friend right in front of my face, you know, and I just screaming no, you know, but there was nothing I could do.
I can't really see what's going on. I'm just, you know, I'm like, quit shooting. Quit, stop, please. Stop shooting. You're killing all my friends. Stop it. And he goes, shut up, bitch.
I looked over my shoulder and I heard the chaos, and I look, and there was an officer coming through the door.
And immediately I saw someone laying there that was bleeding. There was a small group of security guards standing there saying, he's there, he's there.
Columbus policeman James Niggemeyer was the first of 8 officers to arrive at the scene, just 3 minutes after receiving the dispatch call at 10:18 p.m.
I motioned for the officer over there, and I said, yeah, you gotta kill this guy. He's gonna kill more people. He's got my friend.
As I started working across the back of the stage, he then moved the gun to the hostage's head. And as soon as he put the gun to the hostage's head, I realized that I had to do something to try to save the hostage.
And then just all at once, he just took aim and he just leaned back real slow.
I watched him click the safety with his finger, and when he clicked the safety, I just plugged my ears and turned my head.
I stopped and pulled the trigger.
It was just like a cannon blast.
All of a sudden, the weight was off me, and I was like, somebody got him.
And it was over. It was over just like that.
I looked up, and he was down. The cat was moving, and at that point, I ran to the floor where they had Dime on the floor.
And Vinny kept calling me, and he still didn't know nothing. And then when he called me back and said, my brother's dead, and that's all he could say. And we both just cried.
It was like a real bad movie. None of it seemed real whatsoever. None of it. None of it. And that was that, man.
In the end, 5 were dead, including Dimebag Darrell. Cat Brooks suffered gunshot wounds to the chest, arm, and leg, but was released from the hospital within 3 days of the shooting. Gale's motive for killing remains unclear, but investigators believe he was despondent over the breakup of Pantera.
Never seen before.
The brutal onstage murder of 38-year-old guitarist Dimebag Darrell Abbott in December of 2004 sent shockwaves reverberating among everyone who knew him or were touched by his music.
Nothing like this has ever happened. Lennon, maybe. But Lennon wasn't shot and killed on stage. I mean, Dime was murdered on stage. It's just shocking.
I lost everything that night, you know. I just feel like somebody took a hacksaw and cut me right down the middle, took my right arm, my right leg, and my whole heart.
I would love it if 2 minutes from now he walked through that door. I still feel like he's going to. He did not deserve this.
Yet Dimebag's memorial service was anything but somber. It was the ultimate rock and roll send-off, right down to the Kiss casket in which the fallen guitarist was buried.
There's all these rock stars coming in. It just looks like Headbangers Ball. There's Eddie Van Halen up there talking at the funeral service. He puts his guitar in the casket with Darrell. It's the guitar off of Van Halen 2. You know, the black one with the yellow stripe. I mean, it's the guitar. And all I can think is that, you know, back in the early days when we're teenagers, if someone would have said, Darrell, when you die, Van Halen's going to put that guitar in the casket with you.